At exactly 12 a.m., the baby monitor on our kitchen counter clicked on by itself. A low whisper slid through the static and spoke our son's name. Noah. The voice was soft, like someone standing inches from the crib. Then it added, almost kindly, "He's not alone." Jason and I froze. The house was quiet except for the refrigerator hum. The monitor's tiny green light flickered like a heartbeat, and a second whisper came, a sing-song hush that wasn't mine and wasn't Jason's. It sounded like a lullaby my grandmother used to sing to me in Indiana, a tune I had never taught anyone. I felt the air go cold around my arms. Jason grabbed the screen and we both stared. The crib camera showed a dark room, Noah asleep, the mobile still. No one else. I took one step toward the stairs and that's when the whisper changed. It didn't sing. It breathed. Emily. My name. The screen jittered as if something passed in front of the lens. Then, soft, steady footsteps crossed the nursery floor. Earlier that evening, everything had felt fine. We live in Cedar Grove, Ohio, a quiet street with old trees and friendly neighbors who wave from their porches. Noah had mashed sweet potatoes all over his high chair and laughed when Jason pretended the spoon was a tiny airplane. We bathed him, zipped him into his sleep sack and laid him down by 8. I checked the window latch, locked. I checked the door, latched. We set the baby monitor where we always do and curled up on the couch. I remember thinking how normal it all felt, like any other Tuesday. But small things had begun the past few nights. A faint crackle on the monitor when the house was still. A buzz that came and went even when the Wi-Fi worked fine. Once, around 2 in the morning, the app sent a motion alert and we found the crib empty on the screen, until the image refreshed and Noah appeared again, sleeping. Jason said it was a glitch. "These things glitch," he told me, kissing my forehead. I wanted to believe him. When the clock hit midnight, the monitor clicked and those whispers started. My stomach turned to ice. Jason tried to make a joke, but his voice shook. Probably interference. Maybe a neighbor's baby monitor crossing signals. He lifted the camera screen to his ear, listening like a radio operator, as if he could tune the voice away. I crept to the bottom of the stairs and listened too. Our smoke detector light blinked once. The hallway above was dark, the night light in Noah's room casting a thin strip of gold under the nursery door. Then the monitor crackled again, louder this time, and the lullaby returned, only a few notes, then a hush. A tiny clack sounded, like the old wooden rocker in the corner shifting its weight. Jason's eyes met mine. We climbed the stairs, step by step, trying not to breathe. Halfway up, my phone buzzed with a push notification from the nursery cam. Motion detected, person. It repeated, chime after chime, as if the camera kept seeing someone appear and vanish. We reached the top landing. The house felt wrong, too quiet, too cold. The nursery door stood closed, the nightlight's glow steady under it. Jason wrapped his fingers around the knob, then stopped. From the monitor speaker in his other hand, the whisper came one last time, right in our ears, close enough to taste. "Don't let him wake." The doorknob began to turn from the inside. The doorknob twisted slow, like someone unsure whether to come in or let us in. Jason froze. I could hear his breath catch in his throat. Then it stopped mid-turn. Silence. For a full 5 seconds no one moved. Then a soft creak came from inside the nursery, followed by the faint squeak of Noah's mobile spinning. Jason whispered, "Emily, stay back." But I couldn't. I pushed the door open just enough to peek in. The room looked normal at first, the soft glow of the nightlight, Noah asleep in his crib, his tiny chest rising and falling. The air smelled faintly of baby powder. But the rocking chair in the corner, it was moving. Slow, steady, back and forth as though someone had just stood up from it. Jason flicked the light switch, but the bulb popped with a sharp crack, leaving us in the dim golden glow again. He muttered, "It's just static electricity," trying to convince himself, but even he didn't believe it. He took a few steps forward and stopped cold. The baby monitor camera on the shelf had been turned, angled directly toward the rocking chair instead of the crib. "Did you move that?" he asked. "No," I whispered. My voice shook so badly I could hardly get the word out. Jason reached up to adjust it, and as he did, the monitor in his hand crackled again. The whisper returned, but this time it wasn't gentle. It was angry. Distorted. "Why did you come back?" We both stumbled backward. I grabbed Noah from the crib, clutching him to my chest. He didn't wake, not even when I whispered his name. His tiny fingers stayed limp. Jason yanked the plug from the wall and tossed the monitor on the floor. It kept hissing, static roaring like wind. We ran downstairs. My heart pounded so loud I could hear it echo in my ears. I laid Noah on the couch, checking his breathing. Still normal. Still asleep. Jason stared at the dark monitor screen. "It's off," he said. "There's no power. It shouldn't make a sound." Then, from the tiny speaker, no static, no distortion, just a clear voice, calm and chilling. "He's mine now," I screamed. Jason grabbed the monitor, slamming it against the table until it broke into pieces. The sound stopped. We both stood there, shaking, waiting for something else to happen. But nothing did. For the rest of the night, we didn't sleep. We kept every light on, every door locked. Around 3 a.m., the house went quiet again. Jason sat on the floor next to the couch, his head in his hands. "We're getting rid of it tomorrow," he said. "I'm done with these smart baby gadgets." I nodded. But deep down, something didn't sit right. That voice had known my name, my child's name, and that lullaby. No signal interference could explain that. By morning, sunlight spilled through the curtains. Jason went upstairs to pack the camera up, and I brewed coffee just to calm my nerves. A few minutes later, I heard him shout my name. I rushed upstairs. The crib was empty. The monitor, smashed and unplugged, sat back on the shelf, perfectly fixed. The red light was on. And from the speaker, a whisper came, gentle, almost happy. "He's awake now." For a moment I couldn't move. The air in Noah's room felt heavy, thick like fog. Jason stood frozen beside the crib, his eyes wide, his face drained of color. "Emily," he whispered. "He was right here." I just turned around for a second. I ran to the crib, yanking the blanket aside, calling Noah's name over and over. Nothing. The window was still locked. The door hadn't opened. There was nowhere for him to go. My knees gave out and I dropped beside the crib, clutching the rail. "Noah." Then the monitor lit up, bright, clear like a brand new screen. The feed showed Noah's room, but from a strange angle, as if the camera had moved outside, looking in through the window. Jason stepped closer, squinting. "That's impossible. The camera isn't even near the window." I leaned in. There was movement in the image. A shadowy figure standing next to Noah's crib, tall and thin, its head tilted slightly as if watching him sleep. It didn't have a face, just darkness where eyes should be. The image flickered, then zoomed closer on Noah's face. He was there, still sleeping peacefully. Jason reached for the monitor again, but before he could touch it, the figure turned its head, slowly, unnaturally, and looked straight at us through the screen. My heart stopped. The room temperature plummeted. And then it spoke. "You left him alone too long." The voice came from the monitor and the walls all at once, vibrating through the air. I screamed and grabbed Jason's arm. He pulled the plug again, yanking the cord clean out of the wall. The screen stayed on. Static flared, then the same lullaby began to play, the one from my childhood. Only now it was distorted, deep, echoing like it came from somewhere underground. Jason shouted, "We're leaving. Now." He grabbed the diaper bag, his keys, anything he could find. I scooped Noah's favorite blanket and headed toward the door, but when we reached the stairs, every light in the house flickered off. The monitor's glow was the only light left, still playing that haunting tune. I turned back one last time, and froze. The crib was empty, but Noah's blanket was moving, like tiny fingers pressed against it from beneath. Jason bolted forward, ripping it away, nothing there. The monitor fell from his hand, landing on the carpet face up. The screen showed the nursery perfectly still again. But now, a faint outline of a woman sat in the rocking chair, humming softly. Her face was blurry, her hair long and dark. She turned toward the camera, and though I couldn't see her eyes, I knew she was looking at me. I felt something warm in my hand, Noah's pacifier. But it wasn't from the crib, it was ice cold, what like it had been outside in the rain. Jason's voice trembled. "Emily, who is she?" I didn't answer. The woman on the screen smiled faintly, then leaned forward, her whisper crawling through the static. "He's not gone. He's just where I found you." The screen went black. Police reports would later say there was no sign of forced entry, no fingerprints, and no trace of Noah. The only thing they found was the baby monitor, reassembled, plugged in, and still recording. And when they played the footage back, the last sound captured before it ended was a woman's whisper saying, "Don't let him wake."